Can hear us.
Okay, good. Okay, so sorry people. Same weird garbage that happened the last time. It's like, and I will turn the camera on here in a minute. I see and hear nothing. I can hear. Oh, they can hear the flowers too. Just kidding. I'm so funny, but poor Grizz. Sorry, maybe it's.
Hey,
you might end up with a skillet anyway.
Grizz, I'm technically challenged too, buddy. Don't worry about it.
Okay.
Can you hear us?
So Sam had the idea of refreshing the yeah, you may need to refresh your whole thing like we did. But refreshing my key and then putting it in again, and that finally got it to communicate. So I don't know why every now and then YouTube and Google do not want to communicate, but now Mr. Rain just left me sitting here alone, and I was going to turn on the camera so we can see what you think of the camera. I think I'll just turn it on anyway, but I got to find it. Darn it. I've got all these. Mr. Rain had me add all these pictures, and so now I can't find my camera. Here it is. Okay. I think. All right. Here we go. And look, it's actually widescreen. So now I know what the problem was. It wasn't OBS. It was that the webcam that comes on the computer was just, this old computer was just a standard screen, and this new camera has a widescreen. So I don't have to worry about any pictures along the side to fill in the blanks, the little blank spots. Mr. Rain will be back in a moment. So sorry everybody, it took us a whole hour to get everything working, but I don't know if maybe getting the new camera and getting it all put in there, and I did the test on OBS and it was working great. I can tell, at least from what I can see, it looks like we've got a better picture, not just a wider picture, but more clear. So
it was actually a ploy to get more people in here.
Boy, they're really behind.
Yeah.
So, okay, they can see us now.
Huh.
Okay, wow, so it looks like a couple of minutes lag time. So anyway, we'll just keep talking, and I probably see your questions if they come in like minutes after you've asked them. So no, probably the other way around. You'll hear my answer to your question minutes after you've asked it. Okay, so before I forget, and we had to remind me. So are you getting a clearer picture then? It looks like, I mean, from what we can see, the picture looks a lot better. I think this camera is going to be worth the investment. Plus, it came with a microphone, so I don't have to have that other microphone sitting here that I'm always catching with my skirts or my hands, my Italian hands, waving around and throwing it on the floor. So that's kind of nice. So, and trying it on a Saturday, I wondered if our stream would be worse or better, because it's you never know, and it's probably going to be a while before we get the better internet. They're still working on getting it in our area.
We just heard of homing pigeons.
So
anybody heard of homing pigeons before?
Thank you, Troll Forge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
About 20 minutes before 20 minutes before we first came on, we say, well, hey, it's wet, it's raining, what do you want to do? Well, we can do a live stream, let's try out your new camera.
Yeah, and Mr. Rain brought me 2 more loads of horse manure yesterday, and I was hoping it would be nice enough for me to go out there and expand that front garden even more. I'm probably going to end up expanding it a total of 100 square feet by the time I get done. But
our
anyway.
neighbor's going to start thinking we got a waste reclamation pit out in the front yard.
I'm sure they're enjoying the view of the horse manure pile. Well, I had it down to almost gone, and then he just made it that big again. So, oh well. But anyway, I want to show you the books I didn't get to show last time because the camcorder in my computer, or the webcam in my computer had died.
Well, you should be able to read that a lot easier now.
Yeah, that's camera. Wow, much clearer picture. So energetics of Western herbs, and I don't know if the links they should still be
You can probably see
in the
that little
description
easier, Mom.
box.
Probably see that a
That's
little
one.
easier if I tilt it away from the.
And this is 2. Oh.
Okay.
One's purple and one's blue, but you can't tell. They look the same color in there. So, okay. So these were the ones I recommend for those of you who are getting into medicinal herbs, already are into medicinal herbs, and maybe you don't have these books. These books, it's basically, this is considered one volume. Well, it's 2 volumes, but it's one thing. You have to have these together. Because if you look in the index, it's going to say page whatever, and it's going to be like this is numbered, 1 through 400 or something, and then this one starts where this one left off as far as page number. So you really need both of these books. So now I could actually show them to you. And then the other one was this one by Kat Ellis. This is a real good one too. It's smaller, a little more affordable, but it's this one, where the other one's more just really, really important facts, but facts. It's not like just reading. This is kind of laid out in a way where it's just like, almost like just reading a book, for enjoyment. So it's good to have all those different ways. Thank you, everyone who stuck with us and helped us with our technical problems. Hi, Olga. Good to see you in here. I don't know, is this the first live stream you've made it to? And yes, the new camera is great.
Oh, so that's showing up good for everybody then.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm so glad that we finally did that. Weetree's been telling me for a while I need to get this camera.
Everybody can see how ugly I really am.
Yeah, and everybody can see the, imperfections on my face. Darn it. So I'm glad we got the OBS to work, because I really don't like Google Hangouts because I haven't figured out how to get, I just haven't messed with it enough, and I haven't figured out how to get the pictures in there. And I already have all the pictures in this. And so my thing is okay, so when I turn off the camera, I'm guessing everybody can still hear us. Because here's the only difference, is I have to turn off the camera to be able to show you the pictures. I'm going to show you the picture of the knife I got from Brad,
from
BC Truck.
This guy right here.
Yeah, oh yeah, he got, Mr. Rain got a nice gift of this mug.
BC Truck. Actually, it's BC Knives. He's got 2 channels, and he does really good work.
Grizz behavior. Okay, so I want to show you the knife he made. Oh, it is, okay, good. It is overlaying the top. Okay, I don't have to turn the camera off. So that is my new knife. It was custom made. He interacted with me quite a bit back and forth, asking me what I wanted. I was thinking more of the walnut, and I cannot remember the name of this particular wood, but it looks similar to the walnut, and but he said it was a harder wood, and considering how, okay, it says we are still live, so we might have went offline for a second there. I'm guessing we're back on. And anyway, considering the nature of me and how destructive I am on things, I figured it would be best to go with the harder wood, and it's just as beautiful as the walnut. And then he asked me how I wanted the sheath, and I just told him I wanted to trust his artisticness on that, because I do, and it's beautiful. I love it. So some people are saying they lost us. Okay, we says we went offline. Yeah, that seems to happen a lot with us.
On and off. It goes from red to green to yellow.
It does that all the time anyway. But see, now it's showing us
green. So
of course, by the time you guys hear us say that, we'll be offline again. Okay, so that's the BC knife that I got. I usually behave, but okay, whatever. Whatever. Okay, and we will get to Mr. Rain's pictures in a minute. I want to show you, and I'll let him discuss that.
Well, that's if you run out of stuff to say.
That's if I run out of stuff to talk about. That's funny.
It is.
I can't believe you even said that. Well, actually, I hadn't planned on doing a show. It was another one of those things that's like, hey, let's just do that. And the funny thing is that even with all of the stuff that was going wrong, and it took us a whole hour to get this going, because it was spontaneous, I wasn't near as stressed out as the one that I had planned for like a week. So, anyway, I want to show you the skirt I completed this week for a return client. Some of you who have Facebook will have already seen it, but this was a new something I came up with in color and patterns, and I wanted you to see it. So this one obviously done in all shades of blue, and I thought it was just fun with the plaids. You know, it's navy blue and kind of a dusty blue and a floral print and plaids. Two different types of plaids. One's really pale, one's a little bit darker. And it was just really fun. And I'm not really even a blue person, but I'm half tempted on making one of these for myself. Oh, that figures. Okay, so anyway, that was my most recent skirt fabrication, and I get the pleasure of making a couple of little girl skirts too coming up soon. Okay, now I gotta get this off here. I can't get it to, there it goes. Oh, now it's back up again. There. Whew. Okay, I had one more picture that I put in, and I wanted to show you before we get on to some of the other stuff. Where is it? I thought I had one more picture. I don't know, Mr. Rain took a bunch of pictures and had me put them in here. So maybe I only put in the knife picture and the skirt picture. I guess that's all I did. Maybe it's just because I thought there was something else I was going to talk about. I showed you the books. Oh, and I actually have the skirt. Look, real life right here. You can kind of see the fabrics a little bit better. This navy blue is kind of fun because it's got these sort of embossing type design in it. Anyway. So that's it. Oh, there's a close-up of the floral. It's just fun, and I think I've said it before, most of the, yes, I think that's what he called it, Trollforge. I think so. I started with an S. Yes, I think that's correct. So, yeah, I'm all excited about the little girl skirts. I actually bought, well, here's a confession. On every fabric you see in this is made from sheets. I buy sheets at our local store. I get the best price. Most of them I get from the local store. I get the best price of them here, and I get a discount. And I just pick out a bunch of different sheets and then put them together because it's just the best way to do it. But for the little girl skirts, I couldn't find much for sheets. So I got some fabrics ordered up, and I'm all excited. I think they're going to be really cute. So, some actually by the yard kind of fabrics. What else was it? There was something else I was starting to say. I got sidetracked because of questions or something. Something. There was something else. Interested in the aprons. Yes. So the aprons, my ruffled aprons, are $30 a piece, and just you kind of, I may or may not have fabrics that are shown on my Facebook page available. Some are gone. I've already used them all up. I do have an Etsy store, but with as busy as I stay with my orders, having just the Facebook page that shows what I've made, and people can come in there and make custom orders. People message me either through my email account, the raincountryhomestead@gmail.com, or they message me through the handcrafted goods, which WeTree has right up there, and just tell me what they want, colors and stuff like that, and I stay busy. I'm usually about 4 to 6 weeks out on my orders, so the sooner you get your order in, the better, just because of that. But
yeah,
anyway.
She's a skirt-making fool here.
Yeah. Well, and the other thing about Etsy is I tried it once before, never could sell anything on Etsy, and I gave up. Started a new one just for Rain Country Homestead, and they've initialized a whole bunch more fees on top of what they used to have. So it costs me money just to list the items. I know it might not sound like much, but you got a listing fee, and then you've got this fee, and then you got that fee. Then Etsy takes their cut when you sell the item, where I do better just selling stuff on Facebook. It just works better. I can keep my prices lower, and so it's a win-win doing it that way, because people don't have to pay as much, and I don't get as much of a cut taken out either. So, okay, I suppose, well, let's look at questions here. Seemed like there were some other updates I was going to talk about besides the little doohickey you did yesterday on your backhoe.
Oh.
It seemed like there was something else. What else did we do? I was thinking, were there any questions people had on any videos that we did this last week? You know, whether it be the cutting board, the butch block thing. What else did I put up?
First year homesteading.
No, there's
and Heidi's rant on
first
homesteading.
year, and then my rant. And here's something I want to clarify about that rant. I actually did that the week before we recorded the video. You know, that was part of the collaboration. So it just so happened that the topics kind of went together, and I'd been thinking about that one for a while. I had done a craft time chat on it a while back, but I thought it needed to be revisited, especially when I came across more simple definitions of what a homestead and a homesteader are. So yeah, okay, sorry, just reading through, seeing if we got any. Which physical activity in your garden just got the best of you? I'm not exactly sure what you mean by that question. And just for a heads up, I know WeTree's putting it in there. If you put your questions in all caps, we're going to be more apt to see it. And please only post if you're posting questions to us. Please only do that in all caps. And if you're talking to each other, keep that in lowercase. I don't think we got any more snow coming. Just rain.
Yeah, it snows here for a little bit, and then it disappears with rain. Or the sun comes out and makes it all go away. What do you see? Well, Mike Miller. Mr. Rain, do you sell wood crafts? I saw cutting boards videos. Yeah, I have and can. If anybody has a request for something, that might be small enough and light enough to where it wouldn't cost a fortune for me to ship it. Yeah, I do a little welding and woodworking and stuff like that. Make bowls. I've made cutting boards in the past, different things. So yeah, to answer that question. Let's see.
Grizz.
What's that?
Grizz, this is called a crown of glory. This is not snow, smarty pants.
That's frost.
This is called being 51 years old right here.
That extends from her cold heart, Grizz.
Hey. Okay, so as far as, first of all, I don't take Advil or Tylenol. Those are highly toxic over-the-counter drugs that I stopped taking years ago because when I found out how and Tylenol is the most toxic drug on the market, believe it or not. And we give it to kids. Isn't that interesting? So, well, we don't, but I did to my kids because I didn't know any better. But my kids are grown, and luckily they survived. But I wasn't one to turn to drugs of any kind, you know, unless I absolutely had to. As far as things that cause me pain, I don't know. It's, you know, when you haven't shoveled manure for the winter and then you go out there and shovel horse manure, you find muscles that you forgot you had, but it's the kind of pain that feels good, and I like it.
Digging holes and all that good stuff?
Yeah.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, and I like it because it's that no pain, no gain kind of pain. So it doesn't bother me. I'm like, yeah, it hurt. That means I got to work out. So.
Teal House Farm is asking, how often do you have to pull maintenance on the solar system? My spaceship is actually pretty reliable, but as far as my solar charging system for power, there's...
Yes,
It all depends on the time of year that you're doing maintenance. In the winter time, if you have lead acid batteries, it's good to go in there at least once a month and top those off with distilled water. I like to use rainwater. It's just as good. And in the winter time, you can go a couple months without checking your batteries as far as topping off the water levels in those. In the summertime, they cook off pretty fast because of all of the all of the solar charging coming in. You need to wash your solar panels, and that's something that I need to do. I'll probably do a video on that just in case some folks, it might be old hat to some folks, but maybe people that are actually considering getting into solar, it might be something to consider. But they make a nice soft long-handled truck brush or car brush that you can purchase, and just some mild detergent. You can clean off your solar panels, and I've never waxed mine, but I think it's a good idea to put a coat of wax on that on the finish. Yeah, so,
especially.
And then the wax would also help in keeping the finish protected, and also would help to keep ice from holding on to them in the wintertime. That I think some folks might have seen the video of me up there dragging some of that snow off of the solar panels. That snow would come off a lot easier if you had a good wax job on those.
That's what I was thinking as soon as you said that. Getting a lot of questions coming in. So.
Oh wow.
Blueberries. Okay, I'm writing them down so I don't have to keep scrolling.
Is there anything for me so you can write as I talk?
Wow, how do you prep your garden if you're expecting snow? Well, there's a lot of them. Okay. As far as seed, I did start, I decided to do a trial run on starting my peas in the greenhouse. I know you have to be really careful because you're not supposed to transplant peas. But our peas would grow great here this time of year. I could put them in the ground, direct seed, they would grow great if it wasn't for all of the rain.
And battalion of slugs that come through.
Yeah, but I haven't seen any yet.
The slugs are starving this time of year if they actually
and the birds
come out. Oh yeah.
The birds, when those little peas start coming up through the ground, the birds, all the time. It's like, oh my gosh, it's so irritating. So I decided to try in the putting them in. But Patrick, and I have to agree with him, he thinks that I put the little cup, the egg carton thing is probably going to be too shallow. I was just thinking, well, maybe by the time I'm ready to put them in the ground, they'll be just the right size and they won't be overgrowing that. But I might make the little paper cups like I did for the corn that I'm going to start here in about another week and try doing it that way. Whatever I can do to keep me. Oh, Dirt Patch Heaven's in here. Sorry, I'm just now seeing this because I'm trying to catch up here. So hi, Julie. Anyway, yeah. So I'm really hoping these methods work because we got to find a better way to give our corn, if we're going to get any corn at all, a head start. And peas and beans do great here. It's just I like to start growing them as soon as I possibly can because they'll just keep producing. And I really want to put a lot of beans and peas away this year. So I decided to try it that way and see if it will work. If not, I'll just direct seed them about the same time I did last year or the year before. So somebody asked me on a pain alternative. There's several different herbal pain remedies you can use. I tend to go quite a bit towards my catnip feverfew tincture, and that one I made with vinegar and it works really good. No matter how you make it though, if it's made with feverfew, it's going to taste horrible. The other thing I'm finding myself needing a little more of because of my age and the stage of life I'm in, I'm finding that my skin is incredibly sensitive all the time to the point that sometimes it just aches all over. It just aches. And so I found that if I take a little bit of my, remember if you've been watching me for a while, you'll see that I made a deep sleep tincture. Well, basically how it works is it makes you just relax so you can sleep. It relaxes your muscles and everything else. And it's also a good pain remedy. And I've tried to keep it down to just doing that maybe once a day, but it has helped a lot. So it's helped whenever I get tension in my shoulders. And it is a combination of valerian root, passion flower, lavender flowers, and licorice root. And I I hope those are all okay to take together. I haven't had any problems with them, but it was my own blend I came up with, and it's been working really good for me. Like last night I was having some kind of cramp that just wasn't going away, and it was keeping me awake. So I took some of that, and then it was gone. I went to sleep. It was great. So yes, Susan, I'm sure you can. I don't have rabbit tobacco. But I was back to the pain. I know some people that use lemon balm as a pain remedy. There's so many herbs out there that are really great for pain. Like I said, the catnip, the feverfew, lemon balm, the valerian, a lot of them. Lavender, peppermint. Lavender and peppermint, I think more as a pain reliever as far as using it as aromatherapy, like essential oil and rubbing it under your nose.
Skillets are good for pain too.
Skillets are good for causing pain. Miss Rain knows all about that. So then and I do have other seeds started that you saw my tomatoes, tomatoes, cayenne peppers, the popolo, and the valerian, and I don't know. There's a few of them. You guys know. You saw the thing. Tomatillos. Did I say that one? Whatever. Now somebody asked me about blueberries. Okay, so I found, and I got this idea. It made a huge change in my blueberries when my neighbor, who's a master gardener, this guy knows everything there is to know about everything pretty much when it comes to plants. And he said, he had studied, one of the reasons he did the botany and all these college courses he took was mostly to learn about blueberries, and he never found in all these courses he paid for the true answer, the right answer for blueberries. But he found a cheap little book that was like this big and that thick, and that was all he needed. And it was layering chicken manure, blood meal, and grass clippings. And when I started doing that, and my blueberries, as you've seen, if you see my videos, are all in pots, and they do excellent. So I do have I need to get some chicken manure to put on there since we don't have our own chickens yet. I did get some blood meal on there, but you do that twice a year. So you put a cup of blood meal per plant, a good thick layer of chicken manure, and then I just keep piling the grass clippings on all through the year. But as far as the chicken manure and the blood meal, twice a year. So early spring, early fall. And at least that's what worked really good for where we're at. Where you're at could possibly need a little bit something different. Oh my goodness, the questions are just piling in.
Maria was wanting to know what I was up to. Yesterday, I repaired the backhoe. I had cylinder number 2 was leaking diesel fuel just right out from the injector. I'm thinking, oh, that looks like an expensive fix. So I took the feed line off of the injector and removed the feed line from the injector, between the injector and the fuel pump.
And you want me to show those pictures?
Oh yeah, I suppose you can.
Okay, he did take some pictures. That was the last minute stuff I was trying to upload. So I think these are on here in reverse order. I don't know which one.
Oh, you can try that one. That's
the wrong one.
Go to number 1. Okay, there we go. So as you can see right there, that little line that goes into the top of that injector, that was leaking diesel fuel about a drip per second. And so I said, well, that's not good right next to that hot manifold. I better do something about that. And I was right in the middle of starting up the tractor to go get Heidi some more horse manure. And I can't run back and forth enough and fast enough to keep her supplied in horse manure. So anyways, I had to fix that. I didn't know if it was the top of the injector that was broke or the ferrule on the end of that fitting that needed to be split. It could possibly be split. So anyway, I took that line apart And let's see, that's the injector side, and let's see, what's number 6 look like?
That was
number 4.
Try 4.
Let's see if I click on that.
I'll give it a minute.
Oh.
Okay, it's for some reason it's taken a while for it to.
But anyways, it was leaking right between the line and the top of the injector, and so I thought, well, I have a split line. It's not firing up.
What's going on? There we go. Okay, now I gotta remove this one.
Okay. Okay, so that's the pump side, and so the line that's closest to the block of the engine was the one I had to remove, so that hard line had to be removed. And so what I did is I took that apart, and anybody who knows anything about machine work probably is shaking their head and cussing at me and all this other stuff, but I very carefully polished up the connection on that ferrule end there and put it back together again, and the leak stopped. I said, well, I can't lose anything by trying this, so I went ahead and tried it. I took a steel wheel and polished it up, took some emery cloth and polished it up some more. There's a little bit of pitting in there, and so I removed the pitting, reinstalled it, and the leak stopped. I mean, that could have been a real expensive fix there. So
you want me to show another picture?
I'm not sure. What do you got in there? Is it number 2?
Take this one. Hey.
What is number 3? Oh, there was somebody who was asking me about my little log picker-upper. And that was part of the cabling on that, and so this is a little bit of an appetizer for things to come. Ooh. One of these days what I'll do is I'll hook all this up and kind of demonstrate what I did to make the loader into a I had a little tail or a heel boom mounted to the front of I built all this, and I built a heel boom for the bucket for the front of the loader to where I can pick up logs with a grapple, and those cables run into the cab of the tractor to where I can pull one side of those grapples, one side of the other, to loosen the grapple. Some of the stuff might sound like a foreign language to some folks, but when I do the demonstration, I think folks will probably understand what I'm talking about. So for anybody who's interested, I'll do a little demonstration of that one of these days. So I'll get all that hooked up, and I think Grizz might appreciate it.
Okay, I know you probably have more to say, but we've got questions just piling in here, and I don't want to miss anybody's
okay, well, keep asking the questions.
Nope.
Keep asking the questions. If you don't get your answer, if you don't get your question answered, keep posting it.
Yeah, please. I'm trying to catch up on what I've been writing them down so I don't have to scroll up, because it makes it more confusing to me when I scroll up. And that was my oldest son, our oldest son Ryan. He just came in, and the dogs. Sorry, they get super excited when Ryan or Kayla or Justin or Marlene, anybody, they just get so excited. But anyway, so Verna had asked about a video on the tincture. Yes, I do have a video on how to make that tincture. You just if you go to my channel and put it, with the little magnifying glasses and the search, look for tincture or deep sleep tincture, and in that particular one, I didn't have the passion flowers put in that one. That was an afterthought. I did later, so after they came in, because I had them on order. So and then for the glycerin, like I use for the vanilla, or if you're using a glycerin based tincture, I don't think I have it linked in the description box here, but I'll try to put that in another time. I've linked it in the other videos, like in the vanilla video. The glycerin that I use, it is food grade, non-GMO, and it is the best price one I can find, and I buy it by the gallon so I can have plenty on hand. Yes, I prune my grapevines. You kind of have to because they go berserk, and I end up with such a thick wall. And plus, you're going to get bigger grapes if you keep your grapevines. Some people prune them pretty much clear back to the main stalk. I don't do that because of how my grapevines are kind of a multi-purpose. They become a privacy screen in the summertime, so we can sit out on our deck and nobody can see us out there from any side, no matter where they are. They would have to be on the deck with us to be able to see us. So it's a multi-purpose thing, and it's pretty. It's like sitting out there in this little paradise in the middle of summer. I do still need to do some more thinning on them, though. I did some more yesterday, and I have to stand back and look at it and then go thin them some more. There was another question on
feverfew for the back pain.
The feverfew would help with the back pain too. Feverfew, catnip are both not just for help with the pain itself, but they're also anti-inflammatory. And then the valerian root is, I think it is also an anti-inflammatory. It relaxes the muscles as well. So if your muscles are tense, it works really good for that. Okay, so I answered the glycerin question. I think unless there was another one.
You're probably missing a whole bunch of questions, so just keep posting them, folks, in
grapes.
Capital letters, please.
Okay, answered that one about the tincture. And then compost and manure, chicken manure on the blueberries. I think you can use either. I've done both. Typically, because blueberries can stand some pretty hot stuff. At least in my experience, I've put chicken manure that we got right from his sister straight on there, and they did great. So, and I do have to keep, since my blueberries are in pots, I definitely have to keep them pruned back, and because they're on the deck, and they kind of tend to fill up everything when we're bumping into them. And if we're having a barbecue out there, you start running out of space, and the blueberries are taking over. So, but yeah, for those of you who have limited space and you want to grow blueberries, they will do awesome in pots.
Just got to keep feeding them regular.
I don't know chefs for her. You might want to look that up. I was thinking about looking it up, but usually when I do my pruning, it's because I don't usually do everything by any kind of book or special way. I do it according to what I know I want to see. So, like for the grapes, I definitely want to get fruit, but like I said, it's multi-purpose. And what I forgot to say in that video when I was talking about the multi-purpose, I said for the leaves, but I didn't explain fully why. Because the leaves are edible and they're very high in lots of minerals, and so I dehydrate the leaves and put them in my mixed greens blend. So I use strawberry leaves, I use grape leaves, dandelion leaves, borage leaves for sure. Yeah, pretty much anything I can. Oh, it's Troll Forge heading out. He's probably already gone. Oh wait.
No.
Okay. All right. See you, Troll. Thanks for stopping by. Yeah, I bet the grapes would do good in Willamette Valley. They do really good in our area, and I would never have thought they would in such a cold, wet climate, but they do great here. A lot, I've been amazed at how many people around here actually do grow grapes, and then people come over to my place and go, oh, you can go grow grapes here? It's like, yeah, they grow really good. Now, I didn't get a lot of grapes last year, but the year before I got more than I knew what to do with. This last year, I think it was just, the weather was so strange.
They have a hard time getting ripe.
Well, because we had such a dark, cold summer this last year that the grapes never fully matured. Some did, and they were really good, but then we also had that weird freeze after everything started growing, and so we lost a lot of stuff then. But we still had plenty of foliage for our nice little privacy back there, so I was happy.
Yeah, the grapes, when they get a little freeze like that, it kind of helps them to sweeten up, though.
Yeah, but, I mean, this was the freeze before they started growing the freeze.
Yeah.
Well, the plants had started growing, but But I was going to say, my very first video that I put out, besides the video, was me making grape juice, and the whole thing, when I was like, missed a clip. There was a clip that somehow got lost, and it was me smashing the grapes. And so I put the fake grapes in the pan. I was like, well, this is how you do it. Yes. Well, those were the grapes left over from the year before. I had so many, I had to just throw them in the freezer. I didn't know what to do with them. So then I made juice with them, and we don't drink a lot of juice, so what I'll use the juice for, which I still haven't done yet, is still canned up, sitting in there, is I'll use it for when I make dried apple pie. I'm going to take the juice and cook the dried apples in the juice and then put them in the pie.
Go to your bed.
So, or rehydrate them in the juice. Yeah, go get in your bed. Just walking around grumbling. And did your boy have a question?
He might.
Because I can take over if you want to go talk to him.
How's it going, bud?
So, so sorry for you guys who wanted to hear more from Patrick about his backhoe. Let me catch up here. Can you grow grapes in Idaho? I bet you can. I'm telling you, if you can grow grapes here in our area, I would think you can grow them almost anywhere. I think the only place that they may not grow is super, super dry places, but yeah, it depending on where you're at and the breed of grape you get or whatever, it can take up to 7 years to see fruit. We had ours, I had one of them that was already 2 years old when I got it, and I actually got some fruit the next year. But the rest of them, I didn't see any fruit for 4 years. Took till the 4th year after getting the grapevines. So I have a total of 5 grapevines now because I got another one from a friend that you'll have seen in that, herb garden update that's over by the gate. So it's just a little guy right now. Okay, so let me see if I can catch up here. Yeah. So a couple years is going to be your least before you see grapes, and clear up to 7. So if it's been 4 or 5 years and you haven't had grapes yet, don't get discouraged. Okay, so sorry people, I'm just checking to see if there's any other questions. I really didn't expect people to have that many questions for us, so which is very cool. I'm glad. I just don't want to miss anything. If there's any questions I missed and you're still in here, please ask again and put it in all caps because the chat just seems to be kind of flying, and I know there was more that I missed. So, and I don't know if muscadines grow here. I've never had a muscadine. Okay, so here's my question. I know a lot of people consider muscadine a grape. Is it technically a grape? Doesn't it grow more on a tree than a vine? I really don't know. And I'm really curious about the flavor. Does it taste similar to a grape? But I know a lot of people in the South grow muscadines. So let me see here. Cody's whining for attention. Seemed like there was one more thing. Was there any more questions on the blueberries that I missed? It's really pretty simple, like I said, just twice a year doing that layering, and then I just keep putting the grass clippings on. It all just turns to soil. And you just got to keep making sure if you got it in pots, you just keep adding because it is a vine? Okay. I thought I heard or read somewhere it was a tree. Stronger than a grape. Stronger as in the vine is stronger, or it's more robust. Can withstand more. I'd be curious because I don't know if they'd grow up here, but I'll try anything. I'm trying kiwi again, which I think will do well here if I can find just the right spot and get the soil amended properly. How do I organize? Oh, I tell you, well, let me get to the goji berry thing. I'll try not to forget that. When it comes to YouTube, here's the thing. I was teaching dance. I used to have 10 at one time in my life. This is when I think I was pregnant with my oldest son. Or my youngest, I don't know. I was teaching 10 dance classes a week, all through my pregnancy. I mean, literally all through my pregnancy. And I probably took a couple of weeks off or so and then went right back to it. And then things, about in 2008, things in the dance realm slowed down, but that was also about the time I was starting up my martial arts classes, because I had my black belt in Taekwondo, and then about a year later I got my black belt in Wu Wei Gung Fu. And so then I was doing dance and Taekwondo, and I really am getting somewhere with this. So I was teaching all these classes a week. Dance has slowed down, but I had the Taekwondo kind of making up the difference. And I tell you, even when I was homeschooling 2 young boys and teaching all of those classes in a week, I wasn't near as busy as I am now, just trying to keep up with all the things that we've taken on around here, and we still don't even have our chickens yet, and that's going to be another thing. Though I hear they're pretty easy. I'm not concerned about it really as far as labor goes. But that's another reason why adding things a little at a time has been the way we've had to go. And then all the orders I get. But when I was teaching dance, we used to do big dance shows, and I made anywhere from 75% to 95% of the costumes for the show. So I'd be sewing costumes. Like sometimes I could get 12 costumes done in a day. I'm not kidding. So as far as doing a lot of sewing, that's not really any different, because it's just like I feel like I'm teaching dance again and doing dance shows again, and I'm just making a bunch of costumes. It's the same amount of time put into that. It's just kind of more of a consistent thing. But yeah, so, and I'm not teaching, in case I didn't mention it, I'm not teaching dance or Taekwondo anymore. I would not have time to do those classes. I've actually had a couple people literally beg me to start Taekwondo and or dance up again, which I'm glad that there's people out there that liked it so much, but I just do not have the time for it anymore. And now my ex-dance room dojang is filled up with all the other tasks I've got going on. So muscadine is a grape and only okay. Thanks, Just Living. But then again, sometimes if I found I can grow things here that people have said you never can grow that here. But I don't know. I probably won't, with all the berries we have here. I don't think I'd need a muscadine, because we've got the we've got the grapes, we've got the raspberries, the goji berries. Hopefully I'll get fruit on it this year. We'll see. I know for sure I have 5 goji berry plants out there. I had 8. I don't know what happened to the other 3. I don't know if they died. I don't remember them dying, but maybe they did. But I planted them in various places, and I had 2 that did really good, and the other ones were just kind of so-so. So we'll see if I get fruit on those this year. Then there's the blueberries, and then we have blackberries that are considered a noxious weed. The best tasting blackberries in our area are a noxious weed, but they are the best tasting. They're a pain literally to pick, but you bear with it because they are so good. And we just go get those wild, because you can find them anywhere. I can just walk down the street and get some literally. The best ones are the ones you drive out a little way and you find this little road that's closed off, and you go back in there, and those are the ones that don't get all the dust and stuff from the road, and nobody knows they're there, so you can get a whole bunch. One year we picked like 13 gallons of them. Okay, so, and you know what, Tessie? I'm wondering if you're going to consider doing a live show at some time. I'd be in there. Okay, so I'm sorry again if I missed any other questions. I like seeing all the chatting going on back and forth. If nothing else, it's good to just come on live so you guys can all have an excuse to come in and talk to each other. And we can all interact. I love this. Okay, Donna, thanks for coming by. We're having leftover chicken and biscuit pot pie tonight. And popcorn, because Thursday, Friday, Saturday is actually popcorn for dinner. We're so addicted to popcorn. And then we'll eat our actual dinner early in the day. So it's kind of more of a late lunch. Yeah, so Cool, Tessie. Okay. Yeah, and then I wonder what different kinds, like the blackberries in our area, the common ones are the Himalayans, and those are the painful ones. They have the big thorns, but they're the biggest and the tastiest. And then there's the evergreen. The evergreen, they just don't have very much flavor, but they're much lower growing. They're easier to pick. Their thorns are really tiny, but they're just not really worth it because they just don't really have flavor. But yeah, the other ones you got to fight the spiders and the thorns to get to. And I don't really care to have spiders touching me, but I'll tell you what, when it comes to my blackberries, I will literally grab a spider and throw it to get to my blackberries. That's how serious I am about blackberries. Blackberries and raspberries, a couple of our favorite things. You had a pint of ice cream for dinner? Yum. You sound like Mr. Rain. What to do with goji berries? Okay. Verna, I'm really new at the goji berry thing. I just started them last year, and basically I'm treating them the same. I should do some more research. I'm just treating them the same way I do my blueberries. Giving them pretty much all the same kind of stuff. So, popcorn for dinner. Good! I'm not alone. With grass-fed butter, and we mix it up. Sometimes he doesn't like the nutritional yeast. I do. Sometimes I like to put the nutritional yeast on there, and then I'll use my homemade seasoned salt. And he likes extra garlic on his. And then I also have a special popcorn blend I made that has cumin, chili powder, cayenne pepper. Is that it? There's something else in there, and garlic, more garlic. So. It's really good, really good. It kind of gives it a more Mexican taste. Is that for us? No. Okay. It's chicken. So, our raspberries hard to grow. Okay. Again, that's gonna. The thing with when you ask questions about specific plants, it's going to depend on your area, and it's going to depend on the variety. Now. For years, we tried to go raspberries. Everybody around us, I swear, is growing raspberries like crazy and talking about how they got their neighbor right over here always has tons of raspberries, and you can hardly keep them contained. We tried raspberries for years, and they would not grow. We had them out in a nice sunny spot. That's the spot where the peach tree once was, and I got the strawberries against the greenhouse. Raspberries would not grow. The ones that would get the most plants were the ones that were way off in the corner and got the least amount of sun. Well, then we had a friend that was thinning out their raspberries, and they said, these raspberries seem to grow best in shade. And so I planted them in the shadiest side that only get the morning sun, and they've been doing great. So finally we've got raspberries, and yes, they're easy to grow. I don't do anything special with them. The only thing I do is I just throw compost directly down there in the ground, and then trim them down to about this high on me, so about 4.5 feet, at the end of the season when they're done producing. So blackberries. But anyway, we live in thanks, Sam. Thanks for coming in. I can get off here at any time. Part of it was, the main thing is I just, we couldn't really get outside and do anything like I wanted to because it's just too wet and muddy and icky out there. And then I got the new webcam, and so I wanted to give it a try and see how it looks. And so far, I'm impressed. I'll see how it looks in the playback. I'm sure there's still buffering and stuff, but it looks like a much clearer picture, so that's nice to know. And it's so nice not having to have that separate mic that I'm always bumping into. I didn't even realize it until I got it all plugged in. I'm like, oh, this has a mic too. How cool is that? Okay, it seemed like there was one more thing about the berries I wanted to say. Our peach tree is dying. That's too bad. You know what? Speaking of peach trees, we were just out there looking at our peach tree yesterday when Mr. Rain was dumping off bringing me some more poop. And it's getting little buds, and they're getting real close to start opening, so it's definitely survived. I'm so excited. Hi, Mrs. Soap Peddler. Nice to see you, sort of, or your name and your picture. Yeah, I'm really happy with this picture. Thank you, people. And the audio sounds great too. See, and that was the other thing, because I have no idea knowing what the audio was going to sound like. Do you think that the audio sounds better than our previous audio? Because that was just a cheap mic that I bought just to try it out, because I wasn't sure how serious we were going to be about doing regular live shows at that time. So I didn't want to spend a lot of money on a microphone. But it was the same issue. Our internal mic on the computer just didn't work at all. Which I'm thinking was probably one of those things I do when I first get a computer, is disable the mic, disable the webcam, cover up the webcam. Yeah, because I'm kind of paranoid that way. Raspberry, okay. Northwest, yep. Raspberries do great in the Northwest. Pretty much all berries, well, most berries. What are the berries, again, that grow on your property? Ryan? Salal berries.
Huckleberries.
Oh, and he's got huckleberries growing wild out there on his property too.
And thimbleberries.
And thimbleberry. I love thimbleberries. Thimbleberries to me are kind of a raspberry-ish type thing. So Ryan could come join us if he wanted to. We got widescreen now too.
Yeah, Ryan can come in here and give us an update on his house.
Exactly.
Yeah, he could if anybody was wanting to hear any updates directly from the boy.
He's over there rubbing his head now.
He's like, man, my parents keep putting me on the spot.
His face is turning red.
But yeah, there's the salal berries. Some people don't even know they're edible, but they're a real low growing plant. Kind of if you don't know what a salal berry is, and I've never done anything with them. I finally tried them for the first time, but they're a very dark purple, almost a blue. Most people around here harvest salal for the greens, though, don't they?
Yeah, it's usually for
flower arrangements.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I know people make jams and stuff out of the
berries.
Salal berries, and they grow crazy out here. And he's got a bunch on his property. And then, yeah, huckleberries. I have a couple of huckleberry plants out here. I don't know if they'll make it, just because they're probably not in the best spot. But we'll see. They keep coming back every year. I just don't have any berries yet. They're just little tiny guys. So, and then the elderberries, the black elderberries. Now, we have red elderberry grows wild out here. But the red elderberry, though it does have medicinal properties, it does have kind of a toxicity to it that you have to be careful not to ingest too much, or I think it's too much of it when it's raw or something. I can't remember. But your black and blue elderberries are going to be the ones that have your highest medicinal properties, and they're more southeast. But I have some growing, and hopefully we'll actually get berries this year. I just need my pollinator to flower this year. My pollinator did not flower last year, so I didn't get. My other two did, but not the pollinator. Got seeds from them all from. What was I talking about? I was talking about berries from all. I'm sorry,
Elderberries.
From the elderberries or the salal berries.
She might be talking about blueberries too.
I haven't saved seeds from any berries.
That'd be interesting to try to grow.
And Grizz is right. Weed.
Oh yeah.
That's what they're considered, because they, like that piece of property we were looking at, the 5-acre piece we were looking at. Yeah, it's berry haven. It's like, okay, well, if you left the blackberries, you could just kind of have this little cabin right here amongst the blackberries. Now you'd have to totally, yeah, the black. What did you say? It's like you don't need to go to the blackberries. The blackberries come to you.
Yeah, you don't want it. You don't want to. When it comes to blackberry picking, you don't want to have the berries come to you. You want to go to the berries.
Yeah.
Kind of like snow. If you want snow, you want to have the option to go to the snow, not the snow come to you.
Oh, you're welcome, Berna. Thanks for the questions. I appreciate it. And I hope I got to them all. I know there was quite a few. Okay. Was there something else we were starting to talk about? I had no idea we were going to talk about berries and grapes. And...
Oh, I was going to give another little cliffhanger for about the solar.
Oh.
I took a couple of pictures of some of our tax shelter per se was to purchase some solar, because you get a 30% rebate on your taxes if you buy solar. So right there at the tail end, just before we were ready to do our taxes, we decided to buy some solar panels and a distribution panel or distribution center for our charge controllers and, well, I say charge controllers, but charge controller.
That picture? I know.
Yeah.
This is that. It ended up blurry. It was a quick picture.
Yeah, I don't know what.
He was in a hurry.
Fingerprints are on there or something. But anyways, that's our new Schneider Electric distribution box for. That's where all the breakers and different things like that go for isolating charge controllers and batteries and isolating the inverter. Yeah. So that, when I go to install that, I'm going to have to move everything around inside of our little power distribution shed, and because that's going to take up a little bit more room than the old one, and all the wires going to have to come out of that thing, and I'm going to have to reroute all new wire and conduit and all that good happy fun stuff. So that's a project that looming over my head that I'm going to have to take care of this year.
Yeah, let's see if that picture goes away. I clicked on it, but okay.
Nope,
it seems like it's kind of sluggish. It takes a while. That's why the picture appears again, because we think, oh, it didn't. Hey, Tommy's in here.
Hey,
Hi, Tommy. So there was something. Okay, the solar thing. So one thing I've said this before in some other live shows, that for those of you who are looking at going more off grid, and let me say this again, because I don't want there ever to be any misconceptions or anyone thinking that we're trying to say we're something we're not. We are not off grid. We are partially off grid. And we try to do as many things as we can off grid. So thus I have the treadle sewing machine, and I have a lot, I do all my cooking, or most of my cooking, on the wood stove, and in the summertime I use our solar oven and a few other things. So and so on and so forth. There's a lot of off grid things that we do, and we have the solar. So
yeah, kind of where we're at now, it's like we're gaining all the toys and the knowledge and the experiences and the skill sets to eventually, one of these days, maybe go completely off the grid on a bigger piece of property. But right now we're homesteading in place.
Yeah. If we do end up getting a piece of property, then we will most likely be completely off grid, is what I'm thinking. But right now we're in the city. We're still hooked up to grid power, but we also have our own power. We do both. Wintertime we would not be able to rely on solar. We can use it for some things, but, well, it's not really winter. We've been able to start switching more and more stuff back over the solar again, which has been nice. I love it. And pretty soon I'll be pulling out my, because the fires in the wood stove are going to slow down, and I'll be pulling out my my hot plates and doing a lot of my cooking on the hot plates, and then my toaster oven will be plugged into the solar power, and I'll be baking in that.
And solar cooking, and yeah, cooking on the wood stove.
Yeah, and then the solar oven,
all
our solar
these different
board.
things that we're practicing doing.
Yeah.
And have been practicing.
And if nothing else, we're saving a lot of money, and that's why we're. Tommy, did you see his comment about your
off grid?
That it's actually kind of the norm for guys in our area to dress like that, though. So
they're comfortable. I actually kind of loathe wearing belts.
Yeah. Oh yeah, here comes our boy.
Oh, here we go. He's got some black ones.
Had to show off his. I wasn't sure if you had any on. Do you have firefighter ones too? Like ones that say firefighter on them? Oh.
You got your big boy pants on?
You guys know that our boy is a lieutenant at the fire department here. So
obviously have some of my bunker pants.
Oh well, yeah, duh. Yeah. Okay. I'm sorry I got off topic. What I wanted to say about the solar, for those of you who are getting interested in getting into it or being off grid, look at other ways you can do things besides depending on solar, especially if you live more northern, like we do.
If you stop and think about it, solar is a little bit overrated. It's expensive.
It is.
Especially the more north you go. It's a pretty expensive renewable energy, but to me it's more reliable than wind because it's more consistent. You know, even though you have cloudy days, you know you're going to have some solar collection, and in a northern climate like we are, you just get more of it as far as collection is concerned. I got 6 more panels that we also got, 6 285 watt Solar World panels. They're 24 volt panels, so I'm going to hook 2 together to make a single array, and we'll have 3 of those arrays to augment what we got going on now. So in the summertime I'll have to be disconnecting, throwing breakers for some of those because they'll overload our charge controller now that we have, but I have a sister charge controller exactly like the one we have in there that's actually going to complete the system that I have. And so right now we have a 60 watt solar charge controller. I'm going to get another one just like it, so it's all a complete system, so it'll be 120 amps. And I'm also Go for Green Living has a pretty neat little charge controller, and at some point in time I'm going to play with that a little bit and have a backup solar system for, you know, charging radios. The charge controller that he got part of design with it's a pretty impressive little charge controller, and if I can remember correctly, it's got like, what is it, 500 amps of surge. So it's a pretty substantial piece of equipment, but that'll be on my backup system that I build. So that'll be down the road.
I wanted to approach a couple of things. There's a good question there. I don't want to miss that. There was something else I saw up here. The Suburban Hillbilly, I'm really sorry. It was kind of another one of those spur of the moment. I seem to get less stressed out, but then it still took us an hour to get going. And for whatever reason, I was less stressed out. Maybe because it wasn't an actual set time. But I did put a Facebook post out on my page, but not on my profile. I probably should have done that too. But it was like I had 10 minutes, and he wanted me to upload a bunch of pictures or download a bunch of pictures and then put them in the OBS, and so it was kind of crazy. So Texas Boys, is it? So what is your peak power from your system?
The inverter is a 4800 watt inverter. I think that's what you're asking.
And we are pure sine wave, aren't we?
Yes, we are pure sine wave. Yeah, you don't want to get a modified sine wave, and you don't want a PWM charge controller. You're going to want a
hey, Troll Forge is back.
Don't get a PWM charge controller. You want to get a that's a test question because I forgot the answer to that. There's 2 different types of charge controllers, and one is PWM and one is a true sine wave charge controller. You want the true sine wave. Your electronics will like it a lot better for it, and oh boy, Troll Forge probably chime in here with the right answer, but I'm not thinking of it right off the get-go.
I liked that you called them Troll Force. That worked too. She did correct herself. But I want to finish what I was saying about the solar thing, and I said it before, but it's really important that if you are going to get into solar, please understand the realities of, unless you live very, very southern and you get sun year-round, you're going to be looking to it in a big expense that you may not see as much return out of as you think. And you need to be prepared if you're going all completely off grid, you need to have backup plans. You need to have something other than the solar to rely on, whether it be wind power, which we've considered but won't do here.
And you're almost correct, Mike Miller. It's MPPT. It's maximum power point tracking. You want to get one of those instead of the other one that I had mentioned. Exactly correct.
Start feeling dumb with all the sine talk.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, and I think sine wave, I actually think martial arts, because we use the sine wave and the kind of talk, and believe it or not. But anyway, so, for example, like, well, you know, you can look at Off-Grid with Doug and Stacy. What do? You know, they do rely on a generator for some things. They do have other things that they do. But look at as many things that you can do manually as possible. Again, that's why, to me, it was really important when I realized I needed a new sewing machine. I wanted it to be a treadle machine, because I already had the table that was his mother's. And
well, and solar is a luxury.
It is.
Our homesteading techniques
sure.
are designed more for incorporating new technologies with old technologies to make ourselves more independent of other systems per se, like water systems and electrical systems. The only system we can't get away from is the tax system.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's what we're working for and working towards, and that's the crux of what homesteading is. And but yes, I was going to say something more about the
and also on grid or off grid doesn't
the
make
maximum what else is the maximum PowerPoint tracking is like between 80 and 90. I think probably 93% more efficient than the other one. I had mentioned the PWM, I think it is, and that's about 80% efficient. So that's one reason why you want to get the MPPT charge control system, is because it's more efficient for your system, because it takes a certain amount of power to drive your, you know, to keep the brains of your charge controller, to keep the brains of your inverter alive and kicking. I think mine is like 3 watts. So it's a pretty, if you start thinking of solar, that's actually a pretty high usage. So,
well, one thing about that I do know about the hail, I can understand that concern. That would be a scary one. But your solar panels will still work for a while.
What's that now?
If they get shattered.
Oh. They're actually really durable, and most of your, I'm thinking probably most of your solar panels that you come across.
Someone just asked what kind of wax I use on his head.
Don't know what to do with you, Grizz. But anyway, but the solar panels, I think they have some sort of a rating on them that they undergo a certain amount of punishment before they'll break. They have flexibility. The finishes that they put on those are actually a really durable finish. And when I was researching some of this stuff, they were shooting like tennis balls out of potato guns at these things, and you know,
right. I remember
and they're actually pretty durable before they break. We actually had one that was shipped to us from a manufacturer, and it was actually shattered, and the company was really good about saying, hey, you know, just keep that panel, we're going to send you another one, and really happy with that service. So
yeah. And then we just, and you might have seen us in the colloidal silver video, is that what we did was we just set that panel, it still worked, but you just don't want it out in the weather, because obviously it's shattered, so you're going to get water. That's why I said for a while, because if you live where we do, when you get so much rain, then you'd have to be concerned about the water getting into the components and all that. So what we did was, or what he did was, yeah, he's got to cover his shiny spots.
Does that help with the glare?
Teasing him about the glare. Anyway, he set it up in the shop window, and then he has it hooked up to the batteries that we use for making our colloidal silver. So the colloidal silver generator. So yeah, so we still get use out of that. Mm-hmm. But did you have anything you wanted to add, or?
No.
You should chime in here and let him ask questions about your house.
He's probably going to do it.
I was going to go start working on it a little bit.
Ah, okay.
But I might call you up later.
Okay, bud.
All right.
See you later. Then. See ya. Every 10 years we get storm. What was that? I saw some hail like this big. I don't know if it was on Facebook. There was somebody holding a hailstone that was like that big.
Yeah,
I don't know where that was or if it was recent.
I don't know. I can't remember. It was so long ago that I was doing research on the panels because I was thinking, oh, what if a branch or something like that lit on one of them things and it ended up shattering it? Those things are, if you figure they're about $1 a watt, and if you get like a 280 or 100, I got 180 watt panels up there right now. The new panels that I got are 280 watt panels, and so you figure if something's going to cost you around $300, or $400 or whatever it is, with shipping and everything to get here, you don't want that thing shattered on you. But so when I was doing some research, I was watching, rigs driving over some of them, and shooting. Yeah, like I said, they were shooting golf balls at them, out of these little, cannons and different things. So they would shoot them at a certain velocity, and at some point, of course, they would shatter, and they would find out what that threshold was. So pretty durable, and I'm not afraid of them breaking.
Yeah, we've had some of those up there they've been up there for quite a while.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
so,
I think since 2010.
And Jackie and all these people have come in. Yeah, something like that. Yeah. But yeah, so again, just make sure that you be realistic and look at all of your options, and
get a system that you can build on.
Yeah. Yes.
Like your inverter and stuff like that. Buy your inverter once. Buy the highest wattage one that you can get that you figure you're going to use. And the way you can calculate those things is you figure, okay, well, what am I going to, how convenient do I want this thing to be? Are you just wanting it to charge up radios or your phone, or do you want it to run your hot water tank? Those are some pretty significant differences in sizes of systems that you're going to have to get. But every piece of equipment that you get is going to have a nameplate on it. So a radio, you look on the back of the radio, it's going to either tell you your wattage and voltage, or your voltage and current, and through those different figures you can figure out how many watts that you can run. So it's current. You figure if you want to figure wattage and you don't have that wattage on the back of an appliance, you can say, okay, this is going to take 0.5 amps and at 120 volts, and you multiply your amperage times your voltage to get your wattage. If you have the wattage and you don't have an amperage rating, well, then you take the wattage and you divide it by the amperage to make the voltage reading.
Are your eyes glazing over yet?
Anyway, so you can calculate the size of system that you want by figuring out each one of your components in the system and what their power requirements are. So
he's probably gonna need to take that.
I'll probably have to take that one.
Okay, well, we should probably get off here. Anyway, we've been on here for, well, since we for real started almost an hour and a half. I will check and see if there's any other questions before I go. I think we got all the questions. And if it's solar, I probably can't answer it, other than just saying, oh, I know what I was going to say was Ginger made a good point up there about just being as frugal as possible. The more you just learn, and that's kind of how we headed in this direction, was just learning how to cut back. And like I said in the one video, I think it was the one with the two of us talking, it was just trying to find ways to save more money. You know, what are other ways I can do things without electricity, you know, like hanging the clothes to dry and so on and so forth, and cooking on the wood stove. And so initially it was just about being frugal. It wasn't about trying to go off grid or, you know, calling ourselves a homesteader, because I didn't even know that was even a word that was used in this day and age. But till we got more and more into it, and people started calling us that. So, okay, all right. So it looks like, yeah, it's a work one. So, all right. It looks like we did. Oh, thanks. I was having a hard time. I actually have always liked, you know, 2 ponytail things, and it was not wanting to do anything today. And I finally said, that's it. 2 ponytails. I'll just pretend I'm 12 again, or 9, whatever. It's actually most comfortable like this. It's just that I'm not trying to look like a little girl. It's just, you know, it is more comfortable this way. Okay. So anyway, I guess I'll just go ahead and wrap that up. And thank you all for coming. And just be prepared. And all those people that came in late, thanks for showing up. I'm sorry you didn't get a notification or whatever sooner. I do find that we do better if we just kind of do a spur of the moment. Well, we have time, it's raining, or we can't get outside, let's just do it now. And so just, you know, it would be nice to find out if Saturdays are better. Typically they're not better for Patrick because he's off helping Ryan at his house, and it didn't look like that was going to happen today, but now it looks like he's going to run off and help him anyway. So, okay. And if there's, I think those will probably be about the only days. Down the road, actually starting next month, we won't be able to do Fridays at all. In fact, the only days that we'll have available starting next month will be Saturday and Sunday. So we'll probably be back and forth between Saturdays and Sundays, depending on what day works best for us then and what time. So, okay. Thanks all for dropping by, and I will go ahead and get off here. And thanks for those of you, you know, Wee Tree, and those people who were here, Ginger, right from the beginning when we were having all of that problem. Oh, you want to know what my camera is? It is the Logitech. I do not actually remember the exact name of it. It was about $90-ish, you know, kind of the middle range camera. And it seems like it's pretty good, so I'm really glad that we got that. But I will try to remember to post a link to this in the description box, so that it's always in there when we do the live show, so people will know what we're using. It was actually $88, but I think with tax it came to around $90, so something like that. Okay, anyway, for reals, I'm going to get off here. So thanks for watching and participating and sticking with all the whole hour of frustrations I was having to getting it going. And thank you, moderators, for being in here and keeping it family friendly, which is what we really want to see. That's just really important to us because we've got young kids, and even us, some of us older people, we enjoy family friendly better. Okay, so take care.